So hi guys, in the previous video we have seen up to the super keyword. So before that we have seen inheritance. So in this video we are going to understand what is meant by polymorphism. So this is also one of the four pillars of the OOPS concept in Java. So not only in Java we have in any other language we have OOPS concept, this polymorphism will be there. So what is meant by this polymorphism means this is for code reusability, single object you can use for different purpose. So I will show what is meant by that. So have you ever seen this kind of syntax up to now what we have in? No. So this kind of syntaxes will be more familiar in your polymorphism. So we can read over here many forms allowing a single action, specific context. So let's understand what is meant by this many forms. So yeah, let's see. So if you have an animal class which have a function called make sound, so you have three other classes of dog. One is cat, one is duck. So each one have its own one, that is make sound, make sound, make sound. So because the same thing you have extended to animal. So cat is extended to animal. Duck is the duck can able to use all functions of this animal. So our aim is to, when you call this dog, so it has to make sound, this function has to be executed, means this function. So whenever you call this function with respect to dog, then oof has to be printed. So when you call this function with respect to cat, then meow has to be printed. Like that with duck also. So basically what you can understand, with respect to what object you are calling this, with respect to what object you are calling, that sound has to be printed. So if I say I am a human, where I am, so with respect to that I have to behave. Suppose if I am in bar, I have to behave one type. So if I am in movie theater, I need to behave another way. If I am in class, I need to behave in another way. But the person is me, so the class is same, but with respect to what object it is behaving, so that is known as the polymorphism. So there are some types of polymorphism that we need to understand. So in the polymorphism, if you see, we have compile time polymorphism, we have runtime polymorphism. In the compile time, again we have two types: method overloading and method operator overloading. So we have already have a dedicated video on what is method overloading. You can check that video. I am giving that video in the description box. And we are going to cover, or we are going to explore this method overriding in this video. So stay tuned up to the end. That is compile time, runtime polymorphism, method overriding is. So we will explore that after this PPT ends. So I have put this code snippets over here so that you can understand first with the help of these images. So after that we will definitely quickly jump into the code as well to understand what is this live in practical as well. So if you see clearly, we have a class demo, we have main, okay, that's no problem. So in this you see we are making an object of a1. With respect to a1 we are calling make nose. So and another next we are calling we are creating an object of a2. With respect to a2 we are calling this make nose. I hope you understood. We have seen in the before slides only that when you call the make noise with respect to a1, it will print something. The objects are different, so that's why it is the function is same, but the objects are different, so that's why it prints difference. So that is known as polymorphism. So in this code snippet also you can see. So we have two functions, that is show. So inside the show one we are show we are passing integer. Inside this show we are passing a. So with respect to what you are passing inside the show variable, so according to that it will print whether it is an integer or whether it is a string. With respect to that it will print whatever you want in the terminal. Okay, with respect to this also, this is the last slide so that you can understand. After that we will jump into the code in the VS Code. So if you see, we have first class dog. So this is hound. We are extending this extends dog class with this hound class with this dog class. So this hound can use all this wide bark. So inside this hound class also we have another function called bark, but we are extending dog. So in the dog we have the bark function. In this hound also we are having hound class, also we are having bark function. So if you create an object of hound, which function will be if you call the bark function, which bark will execute, whether this bark or this bark. So this is known as method overriding. So that we will understand in this video. So method overloading, we have dedicated video. Please check that. I am giving the description. This is the code that we have done in the previous session. So I have a class A, I have a class B which extend to class A. So this class B can extend all the methods of this. So basically I will, what is meant by method overriding, so that we need to understand in this video. I hope you know these concepts and all. This is basically from the previous video. Okay, now I will explain first of all what is meant by method overriding, so that you can understand the basic concepts over here. So if you see clearly, I have in class A we have method called show. In the class B which extends to A, that in that also we have a method called show. So I am in, it will says I am in show class B. Okay, I will say show. Okay, class B, I am in show class B. Okay, so basically in the class A also you have show. Okay, in the class B also you have show. You are creating an object of B, and this is object. You are creating an object of B, and you are using the reference of B also. You are then, if you come here, if you call the object show, you are calling the object show. Now my question is, which show will be printed? Whether this show will be printed or this show will be printed. So this is the big question, because you are extending to A. So if you can observe, we have show function here and we have show function in the class B as well. So method overriding says, if you create object of B and you are calling the object function, this show function in B, so it will check all the functions whether the show is exist or not. If show does not exist in the B class, then only it will go to class A and it will check for the show. Now I will run that, then now it will be executed because you have already show in class B. If you do not exist show in class B, it will fetch from here. So if I run and show, so you can see clearly it is showing I am in class B, because we have creating an object of class B and we are also calling the show method for class B. It first searches all the methods in class B. We have either show, it will print in the terminal. We do not have show, means it will go to the class A and it will search for the show. So first it will check all the methods in the same class. After that it will only go to the parent class. So this concept is known as method overriding. So this is one of the important concepts in the polymorphism. So what if you don't have any class or sorry, any function in the class B, but it extends to class A? So I am creating an object of B. Okay, it's right, that's right, and reference also with respect to B. Now I am calling the show function, but there is no show function in the class B. So what it will do? It will first check all the functions in the class B, but there is no function. But it will check after that you are extending to A. It will go to A and it will check all the functions. So we have any method show, call show. Yeah, we have a method called show. It will print in here show. Let's see what it prints. So I will compile and run. So you can clearly see it is printing I am in A show. So what is meant by this? Even though if you don't have any class, any functions over here, if you extend, you can use all the functions of your parent class. So that is known as OOPS concept. That is known as inheritance. Basically, if you extend means that is known as inheritance concept. So I hope you understood what is meant by the method overriding. If you have same functions, whatever the object that you have created with respect to that object only, first it will check all the functions. First it will execute that functions only. If you do not have any functions in the same class, it will execute the parent class. So that is known as method overriding. Now what I want to show is, so this is very important concept. So I want to remove this one. So this is a valid syntax. Up to now what we have seen is that correct only. So this is a correct syntax. So this is known as, I will write comment here for you. So you are creating an object, that's okay, object of type B. You are creating an object B and you are creating a reference of B. That's great. That's great. You are creating object of B, means the syntax after this is equals to symbol. You are creating the reference of B, which means that this one. Now what I will do is, I will just comment out this. I hope you understood why I am commenting is, I will suggest right now. Now what I will do is, I will create a reference of B. I will say object is equals to new and I will say object of B. If I run that, see, you are creating the reference of B, so reference of A, and creating object of B. So if I try to use the object dot show here, if I try to run that, see, it is perfectly working, and due to method overriding it is showing I am in class B. So you can see it is showing in class B because we are creating an object of B. So yeah, we have seen in the slides as well, if you are creating a reference, I said there only. Have you ever seen this kind of syntax? Means this kind of syntax now I am explaining, see very clearly. So here you are creating object of B, that's no problem. Here you have class B, you are creating object of B, that's no problem. But you are creating a reference object with respect to A. So here I will write a comment for you. So object is of type B and reference is of type A. So basically what is meant by that, there is no issue if you do that, because the method depends on object. The show method depends on the object, not on the reference. Remember this carefully. If you want, you can mention here in the comment section. Methods depends on the object, not on the reference. So I will write that point also. So the methods depend on the object, not on the reference. So remember this point very clearly. So we have also understood this. So I will comment out this one. So I hope you understood. So the next thing that I want to introduce is, this is very important concept in polymorphism. Suppose I will create just object reference. Have you ever seen this kind of syntax? No, I think. So in the same line, always you are going to see this kind of syntax only, but I will show another kind of syntax. In the first line, you just create an object, means this one. In the first line, you just create an object reference. Yeah, I have created that. In the next, come to the next line, and you can say object. With respect to that object, you can simply create. So with respect to this object reference, you can create an object in new line. You can say new keyword, and you can say object of B you are creating. That is right. So this is a perfect syntax. So you can see you are doing in two lines. First of all, you are creating object reference. In the second line, you are creating a actual object. So actually this one only, but in two lines. Actual only, first you are creating an object up to here. Then in the next line, you are saying object is equals to new object B. That's it. The same syntax, the same this one only. Here I have wrote. Why I have written like this, I'll explain. So this guy, so you have a reference object. Okay, you have a reference object. Now for first, once you created an object of B, if you come here with respect to that object only, with respect to object of reference A only, you are saying new, you can create another object of type B, and if I place semicolon in here, that's valid syntax, and you can finally call object dot show method. So this is perfectly well syntax in polymorphism. I hope you agree with me. So you can see over here, I have first object reference, then I have creating a first object. So after that, with that object reference only, I am creating another object. Okay, another object this is. So I can also, so with this object reference only, I can create another object. Okay, like that, how many objects you want, you can create that many objects with this object reference. So you can simply, finally you can say object dot show. So basically this means what? This means class B, and this, if you have show here, so if you say object dot show, this is for class A. Now if you run that, you can understand what's the difference. So you can see it is saying I am in class B, it is again saying I am in class B. Why it is saying two times class B? Because we are calling, we are creating an object of type B. Here also we are creating an object of type B. So that's the reason it is saying two times class B. What if you change here? Let's see what happens. Oh, now it is saying I am in class A and I am in class B. So the main, so that's the reason that I want to show to you here in this polymorphism is, so this is for class B and this is for class A, this is for here, this code is for class B. So now I want to explain is, you have created a single object, not two objects. With a single object, you are creating a class. So this, you are creating a first object, and with this, the same object with this object, you are creating another object with this object reference, another object you are creating with that. So I hope you understood this concept. So you are calling show function here, you are calling also show function here. So these are the three types of creating an object. So first method is this, the second method is this, and the third method is this referencing method. So this is known as the polymorphism. You also understood the compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, and you also understood method, what is method overriding.